Up with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level Up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Hello, everybody! Happy Thursday! Oh my gosh, I can't believe, I feel like it was Monday and then now it's Thursday. Like somewhere in between, I got way too busy. I couldn't keep up what day it is until I'm like, wait, today is a special day. You know why it's a special day? Do you guys know why it's a special day? Because Charlie Robinson is here. I actually am so excited for this conversation. We're gonna unlock a little bit about the ADHD realm. You all know I have it, right? I talk about it sometimes. And today it's gonna be about Charlie and of course that conversation of ADHD, right? And we just prayed actually before we came into our live today. So hopefully you'll enjoy our conversations and get to know Charlie Robinson, who he is, what he does for our community, and so on. So first things first, I'm going to invite you guys on February 13th. That is next week, a week from today. We have a Zoom session and it's actually headed by Confronting Domestic Violence. So you're going to be asking, who is it for? It's for everybody, men or women, anybody who actually have something to say in terms of maybe they have seen someone or maybe they have experienced it in their past. We're trying to gather and learn in a safe space, right? You can actually, you don't have to turn on your camera. You can just have your camera off and have a conversation with us. We're basically just getting awareness out there. It is Stalker Awareness Month in February. And some of us do have stalkers. And what do we do with that? You know, I think at first when someone is stalking you, you kind of joke around. I hear girls joke around with it. And then it's not funny anymore when they take it into that action stage where it's creepy, it's violating your privacy, right? It's violating your space. There's a lot going on in this world. And so we need a community around safety for our children, for our women, and for our men as well, right? And so if you have experienced it, please share. If you have not experienced it and you're curious, please come and join the conversation. Again, this is anonymous. And also you can turn off your camera if you don't want to. You don't need to introduce yourself. You could call yourself A at that day. Doesn't really matter. Our goal is to just bring awareness, right? For Stalker Awareness Month. All right, so that is happening next week. So for another sponsor of mine is Influencing You. This is a stage, a platform, I should say, with all the social media influencers that you can possibly find, whether they're in social media, they are for TikTok, they are for YouTube. I am one of these influencers in Influencing You, and I give you all my secrets and also freebies. It is a monthly subscription, right? And that is the QR code in there. But it's so amazing. The library of information, wealth of information of these decades and decades upon decades of people. It's on 10 different languages and it's in multiple countries as well. So as we grow, we definitely need more influencers as well, right? To help us spread the word and be part of our Influencing You platform. And their sister company, Bella Grace. I am using all of these 4 right now, and I love that elixir. So you all know I'm approaching 50, and my knee's starting to hurt, and my back's starting to hurt. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? That elixir is helping my pain right now, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in front center, because I'm not the only one who's actually putting it out there. Somebody who was taking this, they said that they had thyroid problems, right, for years and decades, and they started taking this actually for the collagen effect, not for the thyroid. And then when they went to their doctor, it helped with their thyroid for some reason. So that's what she's actually coming around and talking about. And then, of course, we need collagen spray and serum. And you guys know, I don't do lip fillers, but I love my lip serum. Okay, so just FYI for that one. And then my magazine is coming out in March. This magazine's cover is called, this is volume 5, Disrupt and Dominate. I know, it is such a strong word, right? But Disrupt and Dominate is about shattering barriers, defying the status quo, and taking fearless action to lead, innovate, and own your space, right? Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about your head sometimes telling you you can't do it. Of course you can, but you need the right team, right? So what is this magazine about? This is my magazine, Level Up magazine. I have access to other magazines if you want, but those are premium, which is about $2,500. Sometimes it can go up to $5,000 for each cover. For mine, it's always going to be a labor of love, guys. So scan that QR code. You already know how it works. And if you don't scan that QR code anyway, I only do 10 people, between 8 to 10 people on my magazine, because I pick the right people to be in my magazine. It is my personal branding that I cater to my community, right? So scan that QR code. If you are interested, let me know. My dear sister Susanna is my co-publisher for the other anthology that we do. I have 2 anthologies coming right now. And this one is basically the anthology we're doing together, right? This is the Chronicles pages, scattered pages, stories from everywhere. We're just starting right now. So if you want to come in, you can. We're just starting this, and you will have a book by next month, literally by March. Okay. So that is what we're doing. And then my other anthology is academic publishing. This one, you only do the English version, and I'll have my publisher. I'm not the publisher on this one. This is in academics. It goes to German, French, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese, different types of books. It goes to 61 countries, including China and Japan. So this is where you actually are going to head up. So here's my little blurb, guys. This is what I did literally in the last 2 years. I have 4 magazines done and about 18 books. I went nuts in the last 2 years. Nuts, I tell you. And then I gained about in a year and a half, my YouTube from zero to hero at 67,000, my Instagram from 300 to 101,000. Yeah, we're growing, right? And that's why I want to do it, is because people know that I am amplify their message in the right audience and the right people. This doesn't even include my podcast, my TV show that Charlie is on right now. This is in Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, because we wanna what? Disrupt and dominate. Oh, I think I'm done talking. I was like, I think I'm done talking. OMG. Hello, everybody. Are you guys ready for Charlie? I'm ready for Charlie. But hold on one second. We gotta give him some music. Charlie's got a groove on it.
Level up, it's time to rise, unlock your potential,
Potential,
reach for the
reach for the
skies,
skies.
transform pain to purpose, find clarity and stride. With Dr. Leyland leading, we stand side by side. Collaboration fuels us, together we thrive at Level Up Academy. Your dreams come alive.
Woo! I love it. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am amazing. I cannot believe that I'm here with you. I
cannot believe it too. Oh my gosh. I am so proud of our collaboration, being in a house of business community, being now in Level Up Circle. Like, we're
yes,
expanding. We're expanding, and we are blessed. I'll be honest with you, and I'm so proud that we've actually prayed before we came in, right?
yeah, absolutely. Give credit where credit's due, right? So
That
I know
is right.
everything I have is because of God, and um, I do think that people that don't know God, that's okay too. But just I think people can experience the love of God even if they don't know God, and I try to do that in my everyday life, just be encouraging and loving. And but whenever someone says, "Man, how did you do that?" Like, well, I can only give credit to God and me doing what I got to do. So
Yeah, that's so true. Well, my network doesn't know who is Charlie Robinson. So get us to know, like, what do you do? And kind of go back. I usually do this, right, for my first timer here in my network. Kind of
sure.
go back 20 years of your life and then give me some significant timeline 20 years ago till where you are today and how you got here.
All right. So 20 years ago, wow, and I'm getting up there. But yeah, 20 years ago, speaking of faith, I had just become a Christian, and I had come from a life of addiction, a lot of drugs, alcohol, hallucinogenics, all sorts of different things. Had a very colorful lifestyle. And then at age 25, I turned my life around and then pursued a degree as a registered nurse. And then, yeah, I became a musician. I mean, for myself anyway. And from there, like I said, became a registered nurse and met the love of my life. And we have 3 kids. Kind of living the American dream. I feel beyond beyond fortunate. I have a wife, 3 kids, beautiful home. We have a family that lives with us, which I'll get into here in a minute. But a mom that is going through a really terrible divorce, and her 3 kiddos live with us, and her, and yeah, I just live a life of giving and loving and serving and things like that. Um, so yeah, so 20 years ago, that I guess that about says it. But as far as ADHD goes, so everything wasn't like all perfect and everything like that, of course. It seems like whenever we do things like this, it's like, oh, everything is so great. My life is amazing. And um, I am very fortunate, though. I try to be grateful. But so at 38, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And for my whole life, I've battled with depression, anxiety. Like I said, I've wrestled with addiction and all sorts of fun stuff, trauma, yada, 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 all these things. But the most important thing for me was when I was mental health wise, anyway, was when I was 38 years old. I was I was working at the state hospital as a psychiatric nurse. So it's basically like a prison kind of setting. And there was this person that was very, very, very dangerous, like very dangerous. and this happened quite often. But at this point, I had just started taking medication. This is important. So I had just started taking medication, been diagnosed. So we had this very dangerous individual. I had a group of people that are trying to figure out, what do we do? How do we not have people get hurt, etc. Um, and it was interesting because he was being just to the point where he wasn't hurting anybody, so we couldn't. Um, I don't know the words hands on, like basically like put him in a room where he's safe and we're all safe. But he was really disrupting other people that were very dangerous. So anyway, um, the best thing to do is to gently put him into a room, let him chill out, let him just get the jitters out instead of having to anyway have like a brawl on the in the hospital. Okay, so medication wise, let me see if I can make a long story short here. So the situation is this guy's being very dangerous, very loud, very aggressive, and we have a very short amount of time to have this meeting. And this is really common. But normally, what would happen is I would just jump in and say, "We're doing this. This is why." And by the way, I was right. Just saying. But but if you just jump into a conversation with a meeting of people, it doesn't usually go super well. And but in this case, I saw myself just butting in, and I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just listen, hear what people have to say, wait for the right time to interject? And I just was like, who the heck is this person? What is happening right now? Thank God for medication, I tell you that. Anyway, and about a couple minutes go in, and I said, okay, well, what I see here is this. He's not actually hurting anybody, but there's this other person that he's aggravating that is probably going to really hurt someone. So it's my call. Let's go do this. And everyone was like, yeah, Charlie's the man. No, not really. But it was, I'm not sure if I'm explaining it as well as I'd like to, but nonetheless, there was this moment where I was able to have this experience where I could actually stop my thought process and actually think about what I was doing. Because people with ADHD are known for really like speaking before they think, but the thing is they're always thinking. But medications, what it allows, and other mindfulness meditation and different practices also, but it allows, if you're able to stop and realize like, okay, this is what's going on, this is what we need to do next. But the way the ADHD mind is wired, um, basically it's just like ready, fire, aim.
And go. Yeah. I think one of my challenges that I haven't taken medicine yet. Like all my friends have medicine, so I'm being stubborn right now. But I
Okay.
think my worst traits that I've seen, I have a couple, but the one thing that I have is that I really have to try to focus is conversations. When someone is talking to me, my brain is already having multiple answers at the same time.
Right.
And when you're repeating yourself to me, my brain leaves me. Like it literally leaves me because I'm doing and thinking something else because it's like I have like my brain is like a check mark, right? So like
Hmm.
when I already know what you're saying, checked, and then it
Yep.
moves on.
Yep.
And then when you're
Yep.
talking again, checked, and then when my brain says, okay, he's already repeating, so then I move on to something else, and my brain literally moves on.
Yeah.
And when you're ADHD and you have ADHD, we get it, and we have this conversation, and we just move on, right? It's normal to us because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But when you talk to somebody who's an engineer who has OCD
Oh
and
yeah.
does not want to leave the conversation because they want to make sure because of their OCD that they're really getting what you're saying,
Right.
it's explosive conversation in my house because that's what my husband is,
In
right?
your house, I was like, doesn't
Oh
sound
yeah.
personal.
So he's like, "Why are you so rude to me? Like I'm
uh,
still
just,
talking," and I'm like,
get to the point. Get to the point. Come on, let's go.
exactly. Come on, let's
Uh,
go. And I was like, how do you deal with your customers? Like you're going in circles. And he goes, half of the time they don't know what I'm talking about, so I have to go in circles. I'm like, maybe that's the problem. Maybe you're too convoluted and too high, right? Too high on your conversation. Maybe you need to
uh,
define what you're saying in simplistic form so you can move on and not double take yourself, right?
Yeah.
And there's always way, but I think some people have issues with being told, especially if they're so high up in the organization, the ego kicks in. But my husband, I don't work with him. I'm his wife, so I tell him, and his ego just, what do you mean? I'm like, I am not working with you, but I can hear you getting frustrated with your customers when you're Zooming, because my desk is right here upstairs and his office is down here. We both work at home. He's been working for almost 20 years at home, and I've been working 5 years, I think, here, remote. So I can hear his conversation, and I would stop and I'm like, if anyone talks to me like that, it's gonna go in two ways. Hang up or I'm gonna yell. And I'm like, do
Yeah.
you not hear yourself? Like, what is happening? But ADHD is not a glamour, right? Like,
Yeah.
people think it's cool. So my question is, if your ADHD diagnosis came at 38, right? How did that discovery change the way you saw yourself and your past struggles?
That's a great question. Um, so I think the most important thing, and why I was probably over talking, and by the way, please interrupt. One of my favorite things to do is have conversations with people with ADHD where we can have like 5 or 6 conversations all at once. And if
Right?
I am repeating myself, just say, hello, like break in, please. Like I'm probably
Yeah.
explaining myself too much. But in that moment, when I had this kind of dangerous experience, and which is really common at the time, but I was able to stop and actually catch my thoughts. Um, this actually changed everything for me because I've always been kind of, just due to like trauma and anxiety and depression and all these different things. I've had anxiety my whole life, but at that moment when I started taking medications, I realized it's because of my thoughts. I had gone into this thought cycle where basically what'll happen is, if you're thinking so fast so often and you're not thinking before you're doing, what happens is you do something, you make a mistake, and then you're like, oh crap, I got to go back and not do that again. And then you're thinking about, oh man, I made that mistake, and oh man, what are people thinking about me? And then after that, anyway, it goes through all these different thought spirals. So if you're in this negative thought spiral and you're able to like basically stop the negative thought spiral before it stops, that's when, for me, where my life began. Like when I was able to say, wait a minute, I don't actually have to have that whole thought process. I can just kind of like either unravel it, but it's what's easier is just to stop it before it begins. Um, so I don't know if that answers your question, but at that
Do you
moment, basically, but at that
Do you have
moment,
like a framework on what how you do your thought process?
um, yeah. So what I really like to think about is that thoughts are things, right? Like, so people don't realize how invaluable thoughts are. So one thing that I like to do is just simply just be aware. Like that, I'm a very like emotional person, and I kind of get, I don't know, I can get overwhelmed. So whenever I sense just overwhelm, I can't control myself, then I just stop and I say, okay, what is going on? And then I just try to think about, okay, what on earth is going on here? And just literally just be aware. Say, okay, what's happening? Why am I feeling this way? And then, is it true? Is it accurate? And then what can I do about it? And then also just having a 2-minute rule, because often what happens is I get stuck, or people with ADHD often will get stuck on things. And there's usually just one thing, right? I guess that's probably the
Um,
easiest thing is take a moment, stop, go, okay, what's going on? And then what's the one thing I can do, right? There's like a 2-minute rule. I don't know if you ever heard of this, but it's like, in 2 minutes, what's the one thing I can do that can unravel this cluster that I've just caused? So, and sometimes it's doing, often just going for a walk, you know, prayer, listen to music,
yep.
doing some push-ups. Sometimes
Dance.
it's doing dancing. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Just dance
Uh,
with it. Oh my gosh.
but honestly, yeah. But it's simple. Like often, it's just like taking 2 minutes to, I don't know. Sometimes you just make a phone call or do some dishes, or it's interesting how little things can just totally mess up
Disrupt.
one's day, disrupt
Yeah,
everything.
that's
So I
what I
guess
love. Yeah, this magazine Disrupt and Dominate, it comes up to me because people are always asking about ADHD, and it feels like right now it feels icky. Like, why is it glamorized? Like, when you say addiction, like, yes, I don't take drugs, I don't do alcohol addiction, I don't smoke, but I have a shopping addiction. Okay. I'm just going to be full blown out there. Like, I have an issue with shopping addiction, and my husband doesn't help because he provides for that, right? So I'm trying to control that aspect and said, okay, CJ, you got to get control, because I don't know why, like, I have a makeup and shopping addiction. And so, like, if you look at my closet of makeup, like, you think, okay, lipstick is red, right? One red. No, no. I have to have all kinds of shades of red, and it has to be coming from different types of brand, but they're all red. It's just different shade, right? And I have that issue, and I just realized that now, because to me it was like, oh, it's everyone do it. All the girls do it, because I do see my friends do it, right? But I
right,
think I
right,
take it to the next level. I'm like, oh, and I think I have OCD a little bit on something else too. Like, when I notice I lock my car and I check my car 3 times. I check the door 3 times. I every locked doors, like, I check 3 times. And my husband's like, "You've always had this," and I'm like, "I didn't
yeah.
even realize that, right?" So that's when I
Well,
went to a cognitive. So I'm a coach practitioner for CBT, cognitive behavior
okay.
therapy. And the reason I did that is basically for me to help me figure out my ADHD once I found out. Have you heard of the Heroes Framework for ADHD Success? Have you heard of that?
I have my own hero's journey, but no, tell me about it.
So the framework that basically I would teach people that I'm working with is H is for harnessing your strength, right? Because our ADHD comes with unique cognitive strengths like creativity, hyper focus, problem solving. We're good at those, but sometimes we can't stick to it because we're all over the place.
Right, right,
Harnessing actually that strength helps you for your success if you slow down a little bit, just like what you said. And then, of course, the strategy for this is you have to lean into your strength using your strength based assessment, like you said, journaling,
hmm
um, putting how you feel about certain something, but need to focus on your journal on the strengths or the success, like gratefulness journal is what I do
yes,
throughout the day, right? And then
yes,
E is for executive function support. Many ADHD, we have challenges, lots of challenges, like time management, impulsivity, and focus. So how do we do that? We actually make sure that we use external structures like timers, like you said, 2 minutes, right? So that's under the E, like 2 minutes. Visual planners, which I have everywhere, including sticky notes, and also like body doubling, working alongside someone actually helps. So my sisters and I will be on Zoom. Sometimes we talk, but we're really working together because I feel like there's a buddy out there that's working with me while I'm in the office, but we're in Zoom. We're not, we talk sometimes, but we're really working, right? And we don't get bombarded with like so many questions from our coworkers because we're not really coworkers. We're just friends, right?
right,
And then
exactly.
R is reframing that ADHD advantage. Like, okay, first of all, it's not a deficiency. Most people says you have ADHD, you have deficient strategy. It's not. It's just a different way of thinking. It comes with incredible problem solving, right? Literally. So we reframe those things and viewing it as a reframing as an asset instead of a barrier, right? And then O is to optimize our environment. So we are stimulated all the time. When I
Mm.
see my fan, I'm like, oh wow. And I see my lipstick, I'm like, oh wow. Like, I literally have everything in here, including this
Yeah.
guy. Okay. He's such a cutie.
Oh, he's adorable. What?
And so when I'm like, okay, it's Labo Labo, it's one of these people, right? And literally, he makes me happy. So when I'm feeling stressed, I have squishy balls, my Hello Kitty squishy balls, because I'm trying to optimize my environment. And then another E is emotional regulation and energy management, which you did say self compassion, technique, and balance. And then the last one is systems and strategy for success, like making things that are fun, rewarding habits, right? And speaking of fun, let's actually talk about what you are doing right now to help others, to inspire them, and to help more people around the world, Charlie. Let's talk about your summit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for bringing that up. And by the way, you did an amazing job. And I really love the heroes framework, and I will be becoming really adept at that. That's what, 'cause what's that?
It's a movement, right?
It's a movement. That's right. That's a movement. So the movement is to take neurodivergent entrepreneurs, and so people with ADHD, dyslexia, trauma. There's so many different ones, but nonetheless, there's people that ultimately are the outliers of society, people that have a hard time fitting in, and then showing the world how freaking awesome we are, how much that we have to offer, how much that we have to give. And there's so many of us out there that have gone through trauma and addiction, and then people like you and I with ADHD and have the struggle just to get through the day. Sometimes you have to have 28 different things in order to to stay on track. But I can tell you what though, CJ, you say all this stuff, but look at all the things you've done. Look at what you're doing. It's You are so inspiring to me, and to so many others as well. And I think also that that is something that I'm trying to do here with the summit, is to promote people that have ADHD, that have dyslexia, have autism. And I say that tongue in cheek too, because I think we don't actually have the diagnosis. This is just actually a frame saying, this is what we understand. Like, for example, I'm going off on a little tangent here, but ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is the absolute worst definition of what ADHD actually is. So attention deficit is actually not. I absolutely hate it. So because someone with ADHD, like you're saying, like your brain never stops. It's not you have a deficit of attention. It's actually your attention is so many different directions. You have to just focus it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we should call it the quantum brain because it just goes all over.
yes,
Oh my
the quantum brain. Yeah. So what
God,
I'm doing, the
quantum
summit.
brain.
So the summit is to take kind of like the this label of ADHD and a deficiency and things like this, and then turn it into the quantum, the quantum brain.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the grand prize for the summit, right? We're going to have Hyperfocus to hustle the summit. The summit is when? In 17 days. So that's what? 24th, 25th. Is it all week or all day?
It's going to be at peak times throughout the day, so we're going to use times for Eastern Standard Time, like from uh 11 to 1 in the 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then UK time as well. So doing the same thing. So two times throughout the day, and it's going to be a virtual summit. So the speakers that we have so many amazing speakers. The
Talk about
majority of them, the majority of them are pre-recorded. So and then, but the beautiful thing is, and what, like you said, the what we're doing here with the movement is that we're going to create a a group of people that really care about the world, and that also have a tremendous amount of information that can then be shared uh, with uh, with people who need it. Um, I did not explain that very well, but sorry, I'm getting a little excited. Okay, so
excited is good. Excited is good. So
yeah, it is.
I'm
I'm
just
just
gonna
not
read it
explaining
here.
myself very well. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna give you a moment. So I'm gonna read what you have in here. It says win big at the Hyper Focus to Hustle Summit. By the way, guys, this summit is the first summit. Okay, Charlie is not going to just start one and that's it for the year. We're gonna probably have another one in 3 months. So keep that in mind. But we have so many amazing people that's going to be part of it, including moi. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, attending the Hyper Focus Summit actually is an opportunity for you to come in. And as far as registered attendees go into the drawing for a $4,000 amazing prizes. And keep that in mind. You're going in and you're gonna get something that is super valuable for you, whether you have ADHD or not, or maybe you just want to have you have a best friend who have ADHD and you want to be empathetic and better understand them. Or maybe like this, he said, you are at the spectrum, you want to better understand your family. This is a community to do it. The reason for that is we're not living in theory and what you read. We are actually real people who's doing this right now, who suffers from this thing, but we found a way to make it a strength instead of a weakness. Sure, it's not glamour. Sure, we got depression and anxiety, but we have tools that we can provide for you. That doesn't mean it's one size fits all either, that just because we give you the tools, it's going to automatically do it. It is a process, right? But keep in mind that the grand prize, the ultimate visibility package, and I'm on top of this, I'm probably going to give away mine as well. And you guys already know I have pretty much all media. Okay. So cover your feature and article in Business Mind magazine, guest interview on the Beyond ADHD Labels podcast. For my giveaway, you're going to come into my podcast for free. And then if you come into me, if I'm going to do it live, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it live or recorded, but if you registered for mine, you're going to be in my magazine as well as like on my podcast and maybe a TV. And that's like almost $800 already for freebies, just
It's
FYI, right?
amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so make sure you come in for Charlie. And this is not just for Charlie because he is the mastermind for this, but it is for our community, right? Charlie, talk to me about your sponsor package.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to make sure that I talk about the thing that I'm most passionate about and the what this movement really is about, and the thing that I love to sell on. And what we're doing all this for is a long-term cause of helping. This is going to be a left field ADHD moment here, but just hold on to your horses here. But the end goal here is actually to create a mentorship movement where um, specifically women like are sex trafficked, domestic violence survivors, and then ultimately to like there's people that don't have a voice, kind of like the I hate to say like the least of society, but to me are like the warriors, or like these people that are not seen, not heard, are then given this opportunity for mentorship. So, for example, you have graciously said, I'll give an hour of time to people like this, and all the speakers that are going to speak, at this point we have 70 people, 70. And the whole point of all this is to empower people through mentorship. So right now, like to right now, the idea is to create an environment where you can have fun, help people, and make money at the same time. So, what we're doing right now, the speakers that we have, the sponsorships that we have, it's actually for this beautiful movement, this cause where you get to help people who don't have a voice have a voice. And my passion, and it's so deep within my bones, is to take what the world looks at as a weakness and then make that as a strength. So that's kind of that's what I do with ADHD. And I love your heroes framework you express so well. And I have my own hero's journey as well. But ultimately, that's what we're doing here. It's and I think that's why I have so many people like you on board, and the business magazine that has 50,000 subscribers, and then um, chasing the insights. I have a mentor of mine, Vince Warnock, who's agreed, just like you, just sees the vision, sees who I am, sees what we're doing, and has offered to really, just to help to do these things. Like right now, we have 1.5 million people. Like every time an email goes out, 1.5 million people will be reached, and it's just it's really it's hard to explain how amazing like what's happening right now, and it's just the beginning, like you said. So this might seem a little scattered, but fortunately, I have a lot of amazing people helping me, and um, but the vision really is to create a movement of mentorship, to start with summits, to get people's word out, to show how freaking awesome people are, like you, like my mentor Vince Warnock, and then like people like Kitty Andrews and just different people that are so like special and sacred to my heart. But you learn their stories, you're like, oh my gosh, the things that you've gone through, people have no idea. And you take this pain and you turn it into purpose.
Hey, that's my music. Being into purpose. That's right.
So
Uh,
yeah.
I
Okay,
love
yeah, the sponsorship. So um I hope that makes sense. I mean, for
it. It
me,
does. It
that's
makes
my
a whole lot of
passion.
sense.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
but that's what we're doing here with the summit is we're actually showing how amazing the neurodivergent community is, where we're putting them in the forefront. And then the two most important things right now, as you know, is as far as our economy goes, is actually really good data and then networks of people. So what the summit is doing is creating a lot of data and really good information, which is like the best of the best as far as I'm concerned for people that are in the neuro spicy community. And then creating networks of people like with you, like with myself, and that's what we're doing here. Yeah, so the platinum conference sponsor here, so we have just for 23.95. um we're basically the beauty here is, like I said, we have 1.5 million warm viewers. It's not like a splat on the wall um spam email type of thing, but with social media email outreach. So the platinum conference sponsor will be like yourself, who'd say level up will be everywhere, and the name of the conference will be on there for 5 days, and it will be seen by all these different people, and it won't just be for 5 days, but if you think about it in the future, how many times will people see your name upon all these um, yeah, on the canvas of what we're doing. So so it's a really small price for what we're offering. Yeah, so $2,300 more or less is you'll be the sponsor of the event. Having your name kind of blasted everywhere. And then Business Mind Magazine. I just want to give a huge shout out to Vince Fornock. He's one of the most amazing human beings that's ever walked the earth. But yeah, so his Business Mind Magazine, that's his magazine. And yeah, so you basically get a 2-page advertisement within that, 50,000 people. And then also for the speakers, I think we have it down. No, anyway, so here we gold conference sponsor, $1,000 more or less, 995. Um, Again, on the Business Mind Magazine, you'll be branded. You'll be mentioned multiple times, several times, 2 individual mentions during the event. As much as I talk, it'll probably be twice, maybe 10 times that. We'll see. And then, and then for the email promotion, meet the sponsors. Um, Basically, what we're gonna highlight specific people and say, this is what they're doing, this is what they're about. And again, it's going to go to over 1 million people that are going to be able to read that, hear your story. It's going to want social media. Um, and let's see, yeah, for $300.95 landing page, you'll be put on the Summit's landing page, and then receive one dedicated mention during the event. And again, like you do such a good job, CJ. Like, but basically doing a similar type of branding that you do. So where you do that like in the beginning, and you
Oh
mention
yeah.
it throughout. So it's a
Yeah.
similar type of deal. But it's just really powerful, honestly, because people are like, well, what is that? What is that? And yeah. Okay. Platinum speaker. So we are looking for somebody um that will basically take over, not take over, but what I have a few people in mind right now for the platinum speaker, so this actually might be gone, but we like the headline of the event. And again, you have a 50,000 person outreach magazine where you be the front cover, just like your amazing magazine. I don't know how many. Um,
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. When you come in here, that's just one person that's covering that summit. Imagine just mine. It's close to 200,000 people, right? And probably more because we do millions in our TV. But here's the thing. You're talking just Mind Magazine at 50,000 reach. How many people are already going to be here? 70 people already committed to being here. Maybe even 20 people in each at 200,000 or 300,000 followers. Like think about that,
exactly. No,
right? It's
exactly.
not just this magazine, guys. So don't limit yourself. Think big. We're ADHD, for God's sake. We're going to be going here and there and there and there. We're going to take over the world. Disrupt
Yes.
and dominate. Disrupt and dominate. Think about
Yes.
that, okay? Okay. So opening keynote, delivery 30 minutes. Okay, perfect. Do you have one keynote for all 5 days, or do you have one keynote for every single
Yeah,
day?
so we're gonna have a keynote speaker for each day. So there'll be so the idea is we'll have the person that pays for the platinum will be mentioned and have clips throughout the entire thing. That's how we're gonna do it. And then we'll have basically it'll be 10 different sessions, which just sounds because we'll have during peak times. So
Right.
basically, um,
That makes
whoever,
sense. Two a day, right? Because
yeah,
it's 5 days.
exactly. And the prime time, so people who um, buy the sponsorships, then will be able to be put in front and center at the peak of times. Because the majority of the people that are speaking are only at 8 to 15 minutes, where they're basically just saying, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about," and then connecting the right people. But the people who um, have bigger influences, things like this, people are buying sponsorships. Those are the ones that are going to be kind of in the limelight right to begin with. So it really is beneficial to buy a sponsorship and to get that leverage there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, YouTube, because we hit I think 600 something live watchers right now on YouTube.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
I
Yeah.
know. I'll send you the pictures I've been taking, but let me take a look. Because I love my YouTube people and I know exactly where their heart is. So yeah, 597. We're at 531 right now, and I think we might have hit 619 people here on YouTube watching us live. So thank you, YouTube, for coming in. What I wanted to ask you is just for the next couple minutes, what is the vision? What is the goal? What is the end goal for all of these things that we're doing?
Yeah, so the end goal is I want to help and reach 1 billion people. So my 10-year goal is to reach 1 billion people, and through that with really good information, so life-changing information, and then from that creating masterminds. So this is a really amazing way where you build a community of people, you have solid information, and then you're constantly learning. So that gives thought leaders like yourself, like myself, an ability to really dig deep into what we're doing, help people grow, and then also make money. Right? I mean, that's the goal is to in business to make money, but then to help people at the same time. And then ultimately, it's to really set captives free and to give people an opportunity that don't have an opportunity to grow and to move forward. So yeah, something I haven't talked about too much, but 10% of all the profit is going to start a cause called Monarch Rising Alliance, which will be a cause where women of sex trafficking and domestic victim survivors will be given tools for success for entrepreneurship. So basically, all this data that we're bringing, the masterminds, all these things will be available to them for free, And then also the mentorship, right? Because entrepreneurship is freaking rough. It's not for the faint of heart. But what's amazing about these women that have survived this stuff is that they already have grit, they have survival, they have so many things that none of us will ever have because of the pain that they have, but they're able to turn that into purpose. So the end goal here is to transform the world through mentorship and being a good human being, honestly. So
Yeah,
monetizing helping people and monetizing helping those that can't currently help themselves, but they're going to show us how freaking awesome they are. And
yeah,
that's
I love that. This is, since we're both Christians, I'm going to share this, okay? Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. That's what is in my heart. I only serve one, but everything that I do in this earthly body is for Him and to glorify Him. So when I see fellow brothers like yourself who has their own journey of adversity, but literally peeking through that adversity and said, nope, I'm going to not stay here because this is survival mode. I'm going to thrive and help others. And I think by helping others, we actually thrive more rather than in survival mode because we have so many helplines. We have so many people that can help us. One thing I
exactly.
have to give you for as an entrepreneur, this is my fourth or fifth business. I can't even count. First one was toys and stickers. I was making like $85,000 cash a day on that one when we go to festival, but I had to move,
Wow.
and it was my dad and myself, so I had to move, so I had to go away for my husband's work. And then the second one was when I was going through my cross cultural communications before I had babies. I would do some consulting, and then I had to stop because I was growing my family. Then the third one was I was going through my doctorate and my cancer journey, right? And I had to stop because I thought I was going to die. The doctor said I was going to die. And
What?
oh, yeah, I had ovarian cancer in 2011.
Oh my God.
April, they told me,
Wow.
oh, you need surgery. I think by December you're going to get expired just like that. I'm like, so I went to
What?
depression, anxiety, and all that good stuff while
Uh,
my kids were so little at that time.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't go to school for a year because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to stop my doctorate just because I can't do this, and kids and family and cancer and everything. So that didn't stop me. So I stopped my doctorate for a year. And then after I went back, I found a way to collaborate. So I made a business with my three other partners to help doctoral program students to graduate. Because in our program, we had like 42. And the people that I put together, the five of us, were the only ones who graduated. And I know why
Wow.
we graduated because I collaborated with them. I had a technique. So I
Love it.
sold that business, and then from there, I stopped for a moment, and now I'm going to do Level Up, which I love publicity. I didn't know I was good at it because people told me, no one's going to watch you, CJ. You're short, you're Filipino, and you cuss loud. I was like, watch me. I'm going to do it. And I did.
Get it, girl.
Oh, nothing's gonna stop this one, or unless God
Love
said,
it.
you know what, stop. You can't do this anymore. Then I will. But for now, I love
I
that
sure
you
hope
are
not.
passionate about helping people because I do see my purpose, and I have a lot of pain. Let me tell you. But at the same time, I don't like to wallow on negativity. I'm more a solution based person where I will recognize my mistake and then I will find a solution to move forward, right? Because that's how we grow. I do want to, I know we only have like maybe 2 minutes. I do want to talk about don't you have an upcoming book? It's called Redefine Your ADHD.
Yeah, redefine your ADHD and then live your hero's journey. So it's very similar to the what you were sharing earlier. But so redefine your ADHD is instead of saying ADHD in the like defined by the DSM-5, which is the like kind of like the psychology Bible, if you will, but it's like how people are diagnosed. I don't think that's actually an accurate diagnosis per se. Like it's not super helpful anyway. It's like, okay, well, you have a deficiency. These are all the things that are wrong with you. Instead, saying, okay, well, I have these things that are maybe different, or my brain's wired a little bit different. So in the book, I explain kind of like the neuroscience and different ways, like what ADHD is, and it's quite complex. But then for me, what it is living your hero's journey. So for me, it's the hyperfocus, empathy, resilience, or on the go creativity, expression, and then strength based mindset. So it's really similar to what you were sharing earlier, but nonetheless, there's all these powerful tools, different ways that we're wired, that with people with ADHD. So basically, what I wanted to show is that we can name it to tame it, in that we can say, this is how my brain works, this is why, and then these are actually the strengths of it. And then, like a hero's journey, it's not just a straight line, and but in that we can grow and actually really help people in the end. So that's
Yes. Yay. Okay, so guys, watch for our I'm gonna put it on Instagram, and I'm gonna put it also here on LinkedIn and everywhere. We're gonna have a QR code for you to register soon because it's coming up in 2 weeks. And keep in mind that Charlie and I are working together with Miss Sindal over here and all the amazing people. So we will give you the QR code to register. And Charlie will be back here on the 20th. So watch out for all the QR codes, for all the things that's happening, and wrap it up. But for now, goodbye. I bid you adieu. I will see you Sunday with Susanna. Bye,
it's been
everybody.
an honor.
Just ADHD moment. Right? It's a good music. Hey. There you go, Charlie. Come on, get this groove on. ADHD energy. Okay, bye, everybody. See ya.